Hi, y'all. This is Kristen Chenoweth.
Hi, I'm Gloria Stefan.
This is Sarah Bareilles.
Hi, I'm Patty Lapone.
This is Lin-Manuel Miranda. You're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a special bonus episode of the Theater Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Seals, and today you'll get to hear from a Broadway influencer. Our guest goes by 6 Broadway Fan Forever on Instagram and YouTube and is a self-proclaimed Broadway nerd, just like me. Has amassed almost 10,000 followers on Instagram alone, and I suspect has a very healthy obsession with the show Six, also like me. Kerry Skinner, welcome to the Theater Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Course. So, I mean, you're the first influencer really that I've had on the podcast, which is very, very cool. But I want to start, I guess, in a little different way. Like, tell me what got you into Broadway in the first place. What got you into theater?
My first Broadway show back in 2011, 2012, I was 11 or 12 years old. And my godfather told me that he's going to a show with his family. And he wanted to reach out to me if I wanted to go, and I said, of course. So me and his family went to see Newsies, and it was like the best first show I ever saw on Broadway, and ever since then I kept going to Broadway shows for Christmas and birthday.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
So then fast forward, and then the fan account, I guess there's a couple different ways that someone could start getting online. Just talking about Broadway in general, having a personal account, but like literally your name is 6 Broadway Fan Forever, but your first show was Newsies. So what, I guess 2 questions then. When did you see 6? And then 2, why did you decide to create your entire online presence around 6?
So the first time I saw 6 was back before the pandemic happened. I was supposed to see it I think a week after it opens with previews, all that stuff. Then I got hit with COVID. And then for my birthday gift, my mom took me to see it. And it was really magical at first because it was like, I kept on hearing about it since it first started in the West End. That's how I got my first taste of 6.
But then, I guess, do you consider yourself an influencer? Is that a word that means anything? Because I feel like it's sort of like a catch-all bucket that people with a lot of following just kind of get lumped into. But are you out to actually influence?
I'm not actually here to influence. It's just that I'm here to get everybody, to have a Broadway experience or tell me about their Broadway experience. And I can help them with ticket sales, ticket information, with the best course of action for which performance to go on which day. But yeah, I'm just helping.
But so you're actually, are people reaching out to you through DMs and stuff and asking for show recommendations and whatnot?
Many of the people who reach out to me are asking me about why do you get into this stuff? And if there's any negativity coming your way, how do I respond to this? And I just give them all help. And they just ask me about how to get the best price for tickets.
I want to dive into the negativity part of it, because that's something that you said just piqued my interest, because there's a lot. I mean, I've talked to Broadway folks and TV and film folks and stuff for coming up on multiple years now, many years. And a lot of it is you have to turn off, they have to turn off comments. They don't read reviews. They have to just kind of stay away from comments in general, because people can kind of, I think, be really mean on the internet when they think it's anonymous or they're hiding behind a username or something, right?
Right.
But so why did you even say asking about the negativity? What's been going on there?
For example, there is this account that's been going around on the internet, getting into people's businesses without knowing the details. And one of the accounts reached out to me is asking me, how do I deal with this? And I go to my fellow Broadway nerds and they give me the best advice to tell a person. So it's not just me collabing with them. I get other input with them, with other people to help with the negativity. I
mean, so you're kind of rallying behind the person who's getting, is it a form of bullying? I want to say, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No.
Yeah, expand on that a little bit.
I've been dealing with this one person online who just thinks that like they're so on top because they have better followings than me, and like I just ignore it the best I can. But every time somebody messages me about it, I just tell them just to ignore it.
That's really all you can do. But the end goal, do you have a business plan? Is there a 5-year plan? I mean, I don't know the first thing about being an influencer. That's not something I want to do, not something I set out to do. All I want to do is just post things that I hope people will like. And so I guess from your side of things, though, are you looking to have turn this into a sort of coaching thing or a Broadway consulting thing, or even in terms of building community? Like you were saying, if somebody comes to you and asks for help, then you get the community involved. Like what's the big picture?
What I do is like I have a group of friends who I know since like high school, and we just been trying to do the best we can. But my long-time goal has just been to spread positivity. And on my recent post, I posted about if you are being bullied or being hateful messages online, don't be scared. Like speak out, talk to them about it. That's on my recent post on it. My long-term goal is just to help many people that need help with the bullying online.
Do you deal with your own form of negativity in that regard too? If you're like bucketing, like you bucket, you have to sort of isolate the people who are the external people coming at you. And speaking for myself, I often have to tell myself, nope, don't listen to that nasty voice that you're telling yourself that you're not good enough. You have to overcome it. And it's a constant struggle internally that I'm having to deal with.
One of my best friends who I, asked for advice, she just tells me that they're just a negative person. You don't need to put your energy into them. Just focus on yourself and be like the better person you can.
Well, but what about you though? Like personally, do you talk to yourself? Do you have a good inner monologue or inner dialogue, I guess? My inner dialogue can be questionable at times. And it's something that, through years of therapy and discovery of myself that I've learned to process and understand a little bit better. But is there any sort of I guess, internal dialogue along those lines that you contend with?
Like I always say to myself every day is that if something wrong happens, it's like if you have like a negative thought, leave for another day or just get rid of it completely. Just try to focus on the positive and try to be the best you can be each day. And if you don't succeed, try and try again, because that's my motto. Try to get all the negativity out of my head and then put positive ones in.
I love that. Okay. Also, are you going to change your name online to 6 Broadway Fan Forever and Juliet Fan Forever? I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if there's enough.
I'm like,
you've been posting a lot of Anne Juliet lately.
Because I seen Dark Sands last show last week.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
And I have his final speech, final everything. And I just want to get that out before I post like new stuff.
That's so cool. That's interesting. I mean, do people come to you though? Do they know you for 6? Is that what the purpose is, or they come to you for Broadway in general? Because if you started, if you were just like took off the 6, right? You were just Broadway Fan Forever. I don't know if that's even available, but like if you were to be able to use that name and still post about 6 and then occasionally post about everything else, like I don't know, just
I was thinking of changing my name to Broadway Addicts. So you get that addictive side of the Broadway world, and you get all things Broadway.
I like that. You could do like Broadway.addict or something, just to make it in case Broadway Addict's taken. I don't know. That's really cool. I think I support the name change, and maybe by the time this episode has come out, the name will have changed. So either look for 6 Broadway Fan Forever or Broadway Addict. Anyway, let me know whenever the name changes, if it does, and I'll make sure that the show notes for this bonus episode are accurate. So if you're listening, if you can't find 6 Broadway Fan Forever, then look in the show notes and I'll have the correct account name. That's really cool. Okay. So if you've listened to this podcast, then you know I ask 3 standard closing questions in my regular length episodes. But since this is a little shorty, I'm going to ask the final question to you, Kerry. If you could only see one show for the rest of your life, but you can see it as many times as you want, what would you see?
I would have to go back. I know Six has been my passion for a long time, but I would have to see Anne Juliet.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That is definitely one of my new favorite shows. Yeah. I am right there with you. Good choice. And so right now we can find you, as we're recording, we can find you on Instagram at 6 Broadway Fan Forever, and then on YouTube under the same name, yes?
Yes, I believe. If not, then I'll let you know about the username for the YouTube.
Yes. So listener, if it's not there, again, look in the show notes. I'll have the show notes updated depending on whatever it changes to. And then if you're not already following me, I'm at theater_podcast on Threads, Instagram, and Twitter. I mean, X. I mean, who cares?
Twitter X, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I give a big old fart in that direction. Okay, Facebook.com/official theater podcast. Tell your friends. Jukebox the Ghost gave us our intro and outro music. And Kerry, thank you. This has been a fun little bonus episode. I've enjoyed chatting with you.
Yeah, you too.
Take a deep breath, make the world a little colorful.